She-Hulk smash. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, I'm giving my thoughts on the first episode of the latest Marvel series, She-Hulk, starring, of course, none other than Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, the cousin of the Hulk, because Marvel still doesn't own the rights to the Hulk films, and they still want to use the Hulk name without being able to use the Hulk per se, and then throwing him in there. Yes, before you say anything, I know that She-Hulk has been a character in the comics since forever. No one asked you, Neckbeard. The show itself, to no one's surprise if you watch the trailer, is a superhero law comedy show, which has some light fourth wall breaking, some raunchy jokes, and of course a dash of woke feminism for good measure. If that dash ended up having the cap break off and then it just ruined the entire seasoning of the dish. Seriously, guys. There's an opening scene where there's a shrine to Ruth Bader Ginsburg while she's giving her closing argument, while a mansplainer is upset and huffing and puffing at what she has to say because he thinks he can do better. Rest in power, Mama G. And naturally, the best place for any first episode to start is with the origin, which it does and shows how terribly of a driver she is as she ends up swerving off the road and careening off into a ditch, going into a major accident with her cousin in the car. I thought we weren't doing any female stereotypes. Hey, shut up. And of course, as for the origin, they do a little bit of a switcheroo. It's not exactly like it was in the comics. From what I recall. In this, it's a lot more streamlined, or quicker, if you want to call it. She gets out of the car, cuts herself, and then when she's trying to help Bruce out, a couple of drops of his blood go into that wound, and then, of course, she hulks out and gets all crazy the first time. And then the show turns into one big training montage, where she's better at everything. She's more acrobatic, she can retain her personality, she can toss a boulder better than the Hulk. Okay, I have to be honest though, guys. Like, her experience being different than Bruce, I'm not really bothered by it because she is a totally different person. And, I mean, not for nothing, but her being a natural or beginner's luck is a thing. It does happen. Sometimes people are just pretty good right off the bat. The only thing that I felt that was really egregious out of everything was when she was doing the whole reverse mansplaining bit. You know, that scene where she's talking about catcalling and literally getting murdered and acting like she's better at controlling her anger, which is total f***ing bullshit, because you can tell she's seething when she says all of that. Not to mention, she's preaching to a dude who has literally been hunted by his girlfriend's father and the US government, not to mention other superhuman beings, while trying to fight the duality within him with a broken psyche to the point where he was suicidal and tried to eat a bullet, but he couldn't die because he hulked out before it happened. But hey, look at him now. He's all mellow, to the point where a Jeep can run him into a rock wall. And if I'm being a little bit honest, I did kind of find the fight between them two pretty funny. So every fiber of my being is telling me that I should not like this show. There's so many moments that are like so cringe and just like the over-embellishment, the over-dramatic bullshit that we have in here, the wokeisms, the isms that you're finding in here. It's just, it's so ridiculous, but it works. It works because it's comedic, it's funny, it's hilarious, the absurdity of it is funny. Even the points where they're trying to be serious, I find funny and I laugh at, and it all works for an enjoyable experience inside of the show. And I know people complain about the CGI, but I mean, there's only so much you can do to make a Hulk person look real. So that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, guys, I have to be 100% honest. I think that this show is pretty good, and it's off to a great start just from this specific episode. Of course, I've been fooled into that before because of previous series that didn't turn out so well and really doubled down on the isms. Admittedly, I don't have but basic knowledge of She-Hulk. The only things that I remember She-Hulk being in were the 90s Hulk cartoon and, you know, her run in the Fantastic Four for a tiny bit, which I have a couple issues of. I'm even going back and actually reading John Byrne's run of the, She-Hulk comics that he did, and there are a lot of fourth wall breaks, so I mean, that's all par for the course. I mean, all the boxes are being checked off here. We're getting some silly, sassy humor, we're getting some sexual innuendos and stuff like that. She's being able to control her powers somewhat. She's being more aggressive like she was when she became the She-Hulk inside of the cartoon. I mean, shit, guys. I even think she's getting a libido boost, and that's how it was almost depicted. I was picking up on that shit in the 90s cartoon because of how kind of flirty she was getting in some of those episodes. And I feel like they're going to be going in that route too, because she's flaunting her looks as She-Hulk, and on top of that, she's even doing some Tinder dates. And it looks like in one of the freeze frames, she's about to smush this guy's pelvis to oblivion. So all you simps for She-Hulk, get ready for some snoo-snoo action. In closing, I guess I don't mind it because they gave a pretty reasonable explanation for some of the stuff that's going through and taking place in here. Biologically, her and Bruce kind of share some type of special DNA where they can actually generate gamma radiation or some shit where they can become Hulks and everything. But the thing is, beyond that, different people will react differently to experiences and reactions, chemical or otherwise. And I'm not bothered by She-Hulk being better than the Hulk because she's not. She's different. She's not trying to be him, and it is what it is. But all in all, I thought the episode was very good. I found it very enjoyable, and I'm ready for the next episodes in the rest of the series. And hopefully they don't fuck it up like they did with yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all the time that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you stuck to the end, I do appreciate it. Guys, if you dug the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are subbed, hit that bell button. That way you never miss a moment of my content. But until next time, guys, as always, I'm Jay. So take care, and bye.